Today I'm going to be talking to you of releasing the script from the body. A young lady was referred to me by a psychiatrist. He was treating her for anxiety and depression and felt there were deep family issues that needed exploration and understanding. When working with the client, I began to realize that working alone in therapeutic counseling will not be enough, as she had various other physical symptoms which highlighted that she needed a holistic approach. She was an only child, her father a recovering alcoholic, and her mother, who was a high achiever and had faced violence when the father was drinking, now also exhibited to her symptoms of narcissism. The young lady was engulfed and interlocked in the relationship with her mother. On one hand, she felt her mother needed support, and on the other hand, she felt victimized and unworthy as her mother constantly abused her and said she was useless and good for nothing. The young lady also suffered from endometriosis, an illness which is associated with the uterus. Along with the endometriosis, she indulged in binge eating and had other bodily aches and pains. The first phase of our work was relationship building through exploration of endometriosis. The exploration of endometriosis was done through imagery and metaphorically, and I also encouraged her to read Louisa Hay and enroll for yoga. It took a year of this phase when she finally began to feel better in her physical self and had some awareness on the link and association between her physical self and her emotional self. Being a transactional analyst who believes that psychoeducation is part of the recovery awareness process, my client also began to understand intellectually the meaning of unhealthy symbiosis. In her explorations, she shared her thinking of endometriosis as shedding in the wrong space and wondered what she needed to shed. As we explored further, she linked shedding with the interlocked relationship and the pain associated with the interlock. In TA language, when we talk of protocol or script in the early stages, it's really about the script in the body. I believe script is in the body, and exploration of the script through imagery, yoga, bodily sensations, and meaning making of all this will help us to get a deeper understanding of our script in the body. As we explored the imagery, she realized that the relationship between her mother and her was unhealthy and she needed to extricate herself from this interlock. As she began this process, her mother increased her stakes of abuse, threaten, and name calling. This promoted my client to seesaw between the need to be interlocked and the need to free herself. I encouraged her to read a book called Walking on Eggshells, and then we kept exploring the seesaw. I realized that this discussion took several sessions because my client was looking for implied permission from me to free herself. The discussion took several sessions as I began to realize I myself was exploring in my thoughts and beliefs of what it would be to give permission to a person or an individual to break away from an unhealthy person in a family system. As my explorations within myself continued, the client continued to seesaw. As I began to have a crystallized understanding that it was okay to give permission, the seesaw started again moving and tilting towards the need to extricate herself from the interlock. Finally, my client made a decision to move on. It struck me that this decision to free herself and move on came only when I was congruent in my feelings and beliefs on the ethics of giving implied permission to my client. This implied permission is what in TA we talk about permission, protection, and potency. Permission, protection, and potency is experienced by the counselee primarily through non-verbal transactions, which is conveyed through tone, gesture, breath, and posture of the counselor. The client was finally able to commence the process of extrication, and that was when her realization that what it means to be in an interlock was heightened, because as she was able to slowly extricate herself, she was able to see some aspects of herself from a distance. For example, she then recognized why she was binge eating. Binge eating was comfort, and it was a form that she got false, fantasized feeling of security. I begin to share this again to tell you that script is not always released through simple talk therapy. Script needs to be also released from the body. In talk therapy, we let go. We do not release. Release is through body work, and in our context, yoga, meditation, and other forms of spiritual journeys are also part of the release work. Thank you.